right in the heart of silver bullet.
We have to have this conversation about tough love, or tough love is still love, or tough love is love too, because part of the thing about being a man, being a father in society is the stereotype of, you know, the father's the disciplinarian, right? So it gets used against you in society. And sometimes, you know, part of the ups and downs of the roller coaster of emotions is also that, it's wrong to be a father. It's wrong to be a disciplinarian. Even, if you're a disciplinarian in whether it's verbal, whether it's physical, whether it's, you know, making kids do certain chores or activities, or having some type of consequence or punishment, it's looked at as bad. It's praised when mothers do it. It's demonized when fathers do it. But even beyond that, right? It's tough love to let your kids, to tell your kids what to do, and if they do it, praise them, and if they don't do it, give them consequences. That's part of parenting. But also, sometimes you can warn them against things and prepare them for things, and they don't listen. And part of you raising them, or the way that you raise them, is okay. Well, since you want to learn the hard way, I'm going to let you do it. I'm going to let you fall and bump your head. And sometimes that's perceived as not being a loving parent. You gotta be a helicopter parent. You gotta coddle the kids, and you gotta um, make things as soft and easy as possible. When, as a father, that doesn't seem like it's practical, because part of raising children is to prepare them for the adult life, and the adult life is not going to coddle you. The adult life is not going to, tell you to do something a million times and keep coming back. That's not how it works. So part of the issue that's along the way is, you know, tough love is still love, because you want your kids to thrive as adults. You don't want them to, to wither and break. And that's used against you as a father. But you have to accept that role still. It's part of the role. So, it teaching respect, and teaching integrity, and teaching discipline is still part of your role. And even though kids, love structure, need discipline, they'll still rebel against it, even when it's the best thing for them. And you'll still be tasked with the consequences of it, you know. And that's the other part of this. Like, as a father, you're gonna get blamed regardless. Like, you can be there and be called a deadbeat. You can not be there and be called a deadbeat. You can do the right thing, do right by your child, and be considered a loser, and you can do the wrong things by your child and be considered a loser. It goes with the territory. Um, but you know, you still gotta go down that path. And interestingly enough, you know, part of tough love is also accountability. You know, if you did something wrong, if you're gonna be tough on your kids, you gotta be tough on yourself. You know, that's part of the reality of it, right? That's even part of setting the standards for yourself. But also, you have to be tough on them when they try to blame you for something that's their fault. You need to teach them accountability, because sometimes, as a father, you'll get blamed for something that's like, no, 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 no. No, you're not gonna, hide something from your dad, or try to lie to your dad, or try to manipulate your dad, or just try to just play your dad in some way. And then when your plan doesn't work out in your favor and now you have consequences, it's dad's fault. No, dad's gonna be like, no, no, that's on you. And I really don't care how you feel about it. That's your fault. You jumped off the porch and did something you had no business doing, you deal with the consequences. And a lot of times, you know, that happens when you're young. Tough love is still love. Tough love is honest. Don't lie to your kids. Don't tell them it's all sunshine and rainbows. Don't tell them that they can put in the least amount of work and get the greatest, um how can I say this? You can put the least amount of effort in something and get maximum results. That's not true. You have to tell them that you're Santa Claus, after a while. Like, yeah, you know, the person that you're acting like is not a big deal. I'm Santa. I'm the one that's delivering for you. You have to be the one to tell the kids, like, yeah, it's my work. It's my labor. It's my sleepless nights. It's my blood, sweat, and tears. You're gonna have to respect me and what I do. And if you don't, I'm gonna show you why you should. Right? Because your kids are gonna become parents one day, and that's the weird thing about the father situation is, you know, and even the parent in general. Sometimes kids don't listen and they think their parents don't know anything, and then they grow up and use the same tactics their parents did. You know, and fathers, that goes for you in these co-parenting situations. It's the same thing. Sometimes you can have an issue with the mother, and like, that's not, you're doing this, you're doing that, and they can, well, I'm the mother, I know what I'm doing, and you have to go, oh, okay. Well, you're gonna learn the hard way too, because that's not gonna work. And then when it doesn't work, and it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? It's like, oh, uh, now you have to take over, or now you have to coach mom into being a better parent, but you won't get the credit for it. But because you know tough love is still love, and they just don't know how to do that at certain points. So don't get down on yourself for being the more disciplined parent, because it's necessary. It's all, the nurturing is cool, but nurturing doesn't prepare children for the adult world. That's just the reality of it. So we'll move on to the next one. You ever been at the
Something
top
in
of the
your
universe? I'm gonna say it again.